Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
Did you know that there are 13 essential vitamins out there? But before that, let's define vitamins first. The general knowledge about vitamins is that it makes our body healthy. But the proper definition of vitamins is that vitamins are chemical compounds that are necessary for human body to function well. They're classified into their chemical and biological activity, which is water and fat soluble. Water soluble is easily soluble in water, and that is excreted out of the body via urea or simply by urinating. Vitamin B and C are examples of water soluble. Some of the good food sources of water soluble vitamins are leafy green vegetables, legumes, liver, seeds, and citrus fruits. While fat soluble is easily soluble in fats and lipids, it is absorbed into the body via small intestine. Vitamin A or vitamin A, D, E, and K are examples of fat soluble. Food sources of fat soluble vitamins are dairy products, fish oil, egg yolk, carrots, beta-carotene, and spinach. We have named 6 out of 13 essential vitamins, but vitamin B doesn't stand as one but as an 8 underlying vitamins. We have vitamin B1, B2, B3, and we have vitamin B5, B6, B7, and we have vitamin B9 and vitamin B12. So that completes our 13 essential vitamins. What do you think is the importance of vitamins? Guess what? Vitamins are essential for normal growth of multicellular organisms, which includes us and animals. It maintains healthy tissues and cells, and it converts proteins, carbohydrates, and fats into energy. Diverse biochemical functions. Hormone-like functions as regulators of cell and tissue growth. It is also an antioxidant that prevents diseases like cancer and heart failures. An enzyme cofactor or coenzymes that helps enzymes in their work as catalysts. Precursors, similar to coenzymes, but it produces new metabolic pathway. Hormones are chemical messengers secreted into blood by endocrine or ductless glands. Hormones comes from the Greek word hormosine, which means excite or arouse. The major hormone secreting glands are pituitary, thyroid and parathyroid, pancreas, adrenal, ovaries, and testes. Functions of hormones cover 4 major areas, namely reproduction, growth and development, maintenance of internal environment which is our body, and energy production, utilization, and storage. Classification of hormones. Chemical composition, which includes cortical hormone or sex hormones. Chemical composition branched out into 3. We have steroid hormones, which is fat-soluble compounds like adenal, amide, which is small, water-soluble that contains amino G. G means glycine. Peptides or protein hormones are either large proteins or small medium-sized peptides, example, insulin, a glucagon, or pituitary hormones. Location hormones, which separates into two. We have hormones that bind to intracellular receptors. This includes androgens, calcitrol, estrogens, glucocorticoids, mineralocorticoids, and progestins, retinoic acid. And lastly, we have thyroid hormones, T3 and T4. And then we have hormones that bind to cell surface receptors. These are classified on the basis of secondary messengers. Soluble properties, which we have two. We have lipid-soluble hormones, which includes steroid and thyroid hormones. And also we have water-soluble hormones that includes amines, peptide hormones, and eicosanoid hormones. Chemistry of hormones. Firstly, steroid hormones. Under steroid hormones are sex hormones and the hormones from the adrenal cortex. We have three types of sex hormones. We have estrogens, which is a female hormones, chemically derivatives of C18 hydrocarbones, estrone. And also we have the male hormones, which is androgen, chemically derivatives of C19 hydrocarbon, androstenedione. And then we have progestins or corpus luteal hormones, collectively called as gestagenes. Progestin. The principal gestagen is progesterone or pregnancy hormone. Progestin is a C21 steroid secreted by the corpus luteum during the second half of menstrual cycle. Peptide hormones consist of chains of amino acids. Large peptides are usually referred to as proteins. Classification of peptide hormones. We have the hormones of the pancreas, hypophysis, hormones of the parathyroid and gastrointestinal tract, and corpus luteum. Hormones of the pancreas. Each pancreas has about 100,000 islets of Langerhans, which clusters of various types of cells. We have four major types of cells. We have alpha cells, contain granules which produce another hormone, which is glucagon. Then we have beta cells, also contains granules, which manufactures a hormone insulin, store it, and eventually release it directly into the bloodstream. And we also have delta cells that secretes a hormone which is called somatostatin. Then lastly we have F cells, which means fertility cells that secretes pancreatic polypeptides. The alpha and the beta cells make up to 20% to 75% of the total, respectively. Hormones of the hypophysis or pituitary gland consist of three lobes that secretes substances that having hormonal activity. Anterior lobe or adenohypophysis, which secretes proteins the most, also known as tropins or tropic hormones. Then we have posterior lobe or neurohypophysis, which is secreted from the posterior pituitary in both males and females. These are oxytocin and vasopressin that are structurally closely related. And lastly, the intermediate lobe, which acts as an intermediary between the anterior lobe and the posterior lobe. Hormones of the parathyroid, which secretes a hormone called parathyroid hormone or Polyps hormone. Hormones of the gastrointestinal tract. The gastrointestinal hormones are family of polypeptides by special endocrine cells present in the stomach, intestine and colons, which functions both as a hormonal messengers, neurotransmitters. The gastrointestinal peptides are gastrin, secretin, and cholecystokinin. Gastrin produces G cells in the phyllotic mucosa, which is apparently stimulated by food proteins. Its main form obtained from G cells is a heptadecapeptides. Secretin, on the other hand, has 27 amino acids, which is required for full biological activity. And then we have cystokinin. Cystokinin is secreted by the upper part of the small intestine. It is also where the principal activity resides. And lastly, we have corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is responsible for the production of hormone progesterone during early pregnancy. Vitamins and hormones are vital for a well-balanced lifestyle and for body to function well.